How loud do I talk? Not.
Yeah, I mean not like insane.
Right.
But
Like.
Probably like this.
Like coming up live at 7.
Maybe a little louder.
A little louder. Okay.
Yeah.
Will you tell me when, like, this, okay. After, like, the open. Coming up live at 7, we will take a look at the behind the scenes of the Rumors rehearsal. We will also take a look at this week's Saint Day. Plus, Siena hosted another one of their many open houses this past weekend. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Riley Constable. We begin this evening with a Rumors play, a play being performed by students here at Siena. Theater students have been preparing for Rumors' opening show. SCTV's Zoe Stoddard has more.
Stage here at Siena University. I had the chance to talk to Samantha Castle and Oren James to learn how the crew is bringing this story to life and why it's a performance you won't want to miss.
For everyone to just see all of the moments of comedy within it. Obviously it's comedy, but I feel like there's so many different lines you can catch. That's comedy, but then also like physical comedy of people like falling and dropping things. I feel like it's going to be really exciting for it all to come together, especially with managing the props. Seeing all the props go flying around as people fall and get into chaos is really fun.
Now, let's switch gears and hear from Oren James about their role and contributions to the production.
Is actually being able to put something into it. Normally I've had roles like the assistant sound designer or even one of the operators. And so this semester I was actually offered to be the designer for the sound on Rumors, and it was really exciting because it means I actually do get to put something into this production, see it come to life with all the other aspects working together. So me seeing that is just really cool because it feels like part of my hard work is actually shown in something that people are going to see.
Rumors' opening show is at 8 o'clock tomorrow night in the Foy Hall Theater. Tickets can be purchased at sienacreativearts.ludus.com. Reporting for SCTV, I'm Zoe Stoddard.
Today was Saints Day at Siena University, and SCTV's Donovan DuBois takes us through today's event in the San Jose Student Union.
Community Living at Siena lured in Siena students with an assortment of cider donuts to choose from to inform those of the following information sessions needed to become a community assistant. Fellow residence directors voiced how they wish to use this event to help students feel more involved on campus.
So we're here to promote the position for community assistant so that way we can help support residents and get them to feel more part of the community.
If one wishes to become part of community living, it is a rather long process. However, Resident Director Christian Leahy explains how a student can become part of their community.
It starts with our information sessions. So we have 5 information sessions available, 3 this semester, 2 at the start of the spring semester. And essentially we'll go step by step on everything you need, from resume to application and even an interview process.
Part of the staff not only helps better your surrounding community, but also can help better yourself and prepare you for life after college.
Absolutely. It's all about leadership. You want to promote your skills, build your resume. That's what we're here for. We want to help you in all aspects of your life, whether that's with academics, professional development, personal development, and not just CAs, but there's a lot of other people on campus who want to help you do that too. So.
For SCTV, I'm Donovan Dubois.
Siena's Marketing Association held their annual networking event this morning in the Saracen Student Union. It was a delicious way to make connections. The event allows marketing majors to meet and mingle with fellow students along with alumni and career experts in the marketing field, all while filling up on warm drinks and great food. This event provides students the chance to make connections that they otherwise may have missed out on.
It's a great event to network with local professionals, a lot of people that you wouldn't necessarily get the chance to meet outside of this. A lot of people have gained internships through these events, and it just kind of leads you to build your network as a young student.
The Marketing Association tells me they host events like this multiple times a semester, allowing students no shortage of opportunities to make new connections. Future dates will be listed on the Saints Connect website. Last Saturday, Siena held an open house on campus for prospective students and their families to attend and learn more about the university. Over 500 high school seniors and their families attended the event, which began in the UHY Center. Siena professors and faculty were there representing each major to answer questions about each program and organization. Siena's Director of Admissions, Katie Zalda, was there to speak to the families, and as a Siena grad herself, she knows what makes Siena a great home for students.
We're super excited to have open house today. We're going to be welcoming over 500 prospective students and their families to campus. The day is full of fun, activities, and exploration. Siena's the best. I'm a Siena graduate. I've been in the admissions office for 23 years now, so it's home. As you go and you visit colleges, I always say getting physically on campus is the best thing, and you need to do it for every college. And the minute you step foot on Siena's campus, you're going to see why.
The open house showed all of the prospective students who came why Siena is ranked #1 in the university in New York for finding a job. Still to come, a conversation with Joe Lemry about the TV club. Plus, Steve and Noah will recap the last week in sports. House of Representatives is back in session today, and lawmakers are expected to vote this evening on the Senate-backed bill to reopen the federal government. If the chamber is able to pass the funding bill, it will then head to President Donald Trump's desk for a signature. Correspondent Julia Benbrook is at the White House with what to expect.
House Speaker Mike Johnson has to sell the package to his razor-thin GOP majority and will likely need President Donald Trump's help to push it through. That being said, GOP leadership remains confident that it will be able to get the Senate-backed bill across the finish line, which would bring the longest government shutdown in history to an end.
I just want to say that we're very optimistic about the vote tally tonight. We think this is going to happen.
The chamber is voting on a stopgap measure that would reopen the government and keep it funded through January 30th, reverse the mass firings made by the Trump administration during the shutdown, and ensure that the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, will be funded for the rest of the fiscal year. What's not included, though, is causing frustration for many Democrats. They have been pushing to use this time to address health care, specifically an extension of enhanced Obamacare subsidies set to expire at the end of the year. While Senate Republicans promised a future vote on this, the House has not committed.
On December 31st, the Affordable Care Act tax credits expire, and dozens of House Republicans have been claiming over the last few weeks that they know that is something that needs to be addressed. And now we're going to have to see some action, or whether it was just talk from these House Republicans.
Now, if House Democrats vote against this version of the funding bill, Republicans can only lose 2 GOP votes and still push it through. It would then head to the president's desk for a signature. At the White House, I'm Julia Benbrook.
On the way, I sat down with Joe Lemery to talk about the TV Club. We'll be right back. Hi everyone, and welcome back. I'm here with Joe Lemery, president of the TV Studio Club. Hi Joe.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
So what is the TV Studio Club?
Yeah, so the TV Studio Club, for those who don't know, it's a student-run club. And we do really just informal gatherings, and we try and get together once a month or so, really just sort of talk about ideas and pitches for what could be on TV, and then things that we find that are good, we sort of put them together and try and get a show going. Last year we had some great success with a sports show. That was a lot of fun. Steve, honestly, got to give him a lot of credit. He's kind of been as much of a president as I am, if not more, so he's always in here doing a lot. We just, a little bit of a transition year for us this year, but we're really trying to just get numbers back, boost up the club, and put some good shows together. So,
yeah. So can anybody, any students on campus join the club?
Oh, absolutely. It doesn't matter what major you are. Anybody can join. And it's really just a great opportunity to make friends and try new things. I mean, there's opportunities for anybody. You could do behind the scenes with prompter, you could direct, produce, and you can also be on camera, and you can learn what's kind of your style within the production setting. So it's really neat.
Yeah, so can the members of the club decide what they want to do, like what, be on the camera, prompter, is that up to them, or is it what's available?
Yeah, absolutely. So we highly encourage you to do what you want to do. And I think starting off, when you're coming into the studio, we want you to sort of dabble in a little bit of the different areas that we have to offer, try and learn and get a grasp for everything that we have. And then once you get comfortable, once you sort of show that you're capable of doing these skills, then we really kind of move you around, and especially whatever you want to do, we want you to be able to do that. So if your end goal is, hey, I want to be the best producer I can be, then we're going to put you there. And we definitely need those people. Behind the scenes especially, really important for us to sort of get the numbers back there. You can never have enough, whether it's graphics, audio, all the little things. You can always have extra people back there. And if your thing's on-air talent, then we're going to get you the opportunities as they come along, and you're just going to be able to keep developing and get better.
Yeah. So how often do you guys meet every week?
Yeah, so we're kind of different in the sense of weekly clubs on campus. We're a little more informal, where our meeting times are really going to depend on what shows we have. Okay. Right now, this semester especially, we've been a little light on shows, but in the past, we've had meetings maybe 2 or 3 times a week, or we've had ones where it's more towards like once every other week or once a month. So as far as general meetings go and trying to get information, we'll tend to send those out once a month. A lot of times we'll utilize email, so it doesn't have to be redundant to be necessarily in here. But as far as meetings go, depends on when a show is scheduled. We'll typically gear us to when we're going to schedule our meetings.
Yeah. And so I know you mentioned the sports project that you guys did last year. Do you have any other favorite projects that you've done?
Yeah, there's a lot, honestly. The Rundown, which was the project that we worked on last year for sports. Steve and myself were in it. We had a ton of seniors as well last year who have now graduated, but it was a lot of fun. It was a great experience. We're hoping to bring that show back quite soon. Again, like I said, it's kind of been a transition year, so we're working on putting the pieces to the puzzle, but it was a fantastic show. Kind of had elements of what ESPN would offer, like First Take and Sports Center, and had some good qualities of what a real sports show could be. I had the opportunity to be on 2 shows last year. I was my junior year in the fall for 2024. I was part of the first ever SCTV Live at 2:30, which was really fun, kind of simulated that half-hour long newscast, and then we also had 2 newscasts in the spring. So we had a class do the 7 p.m. live, and then I got to partake in Morning Brew, which was a like kind of that next level up, and it was a really fun class to sort of learn all the skills. We had to do packages, MMJ work, go out in the field, cover different stories, anchoring. There were so many different topics and variations of things I could do, and it was great. And we got the opportunity to go to the Today Show, which was one of the coolest experiences I've had here thus far.
That's awesome. Yes. So what are your goals for the club this year?
Yeah, the goals are really just to keep building. I mean, it is definitely, like I said, a transition year. I can't stress that enough. We're really trying to just build the pieces back. It hasn't been easy necessarily, but we're working on it. We're doing a great job. Again, credit Steve has been fantastic with this whole experience. Joe from USA, he's really done a great job. Kelly O'Donnell has been helping us so much. And we're just trying to trial and error, you know. I think we're students, we're kids at the end of the day, so we're all trying to figure this out and work together, and that's all you can do, and I think we've managed so far and done a pretty good job.
Yeah. And is it too late for people to still join the club?
Never too late. We always want people to join the club. I mean, again, doesn't matter what major you are. We tend to see the most people in the club from communications with journalism and sports and sometimes marketing, but we don't care what major we are. If you want to have a good time, this is a club that's about learning and having fun. That's what we preach. That's what our department chair, Dr. Iddings, preaches. We want to have good, memorable experiences. We also want people to learn. And take something away from this. Maybe it can get them some videos for their reels to send to companies. Maybe they get a networking opportunity out of this. So there's a lot that can come out of this that's good. And again, at the end of the day, if we can just have fun, put smiles on people's faces, and provide entertainment, that's all we can ask for.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you for having
me. Stay tuned. Steve and Noah will talk about this past week in sports.
One. Two. Let's roll, my friend. Welcome back to SCTV Live at 7. Steve Jones and Noah Kime with you, here to break down this past week in sports. And so far, Noah, it has been a crazy sports week. But first, let's start with some Monday Night Football in Lambeau, as the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles did battle in a tundra-like atmosphere in early November.
Oh yeah, it was a great, what everyone expected to be a great game on paper. I mean, you have two of the best teams in the NFL, two Super Bowl contending teams in many people's eyes. I mean, this game really didn't live up fully to the hype. We had no score going into halftime. How about that?
The Eagles started out 3-0 on a Jake Elliott field goal. Now 4th and long with under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. A great pass breakup for the Eagles. And who is it? Reed Blankenship, having another fantastic year. Jalen Hurts dropping back, going to Devontae Smith over a DB, and what a catch it was.
Oh yeah, I mean, this game was a defensive battle through and through, but when the offense needed to get going, they were able to show up at least a little bit. Following that touchdown, we get a Josh Jacobs on a carry in the inside for a touchdown, and that would be the last touchdown of this game, Steve.
It would take us to 10-6, eventually 10-7. With a minute and a half to go, the Packers have one more last big punch in them. A big tackle for loss on the backfield and a costly penalty would be it for the Green Bay Packers at home. One of the most anticipated Monday Night Football games this year so far, Noah.
And not to mention, how about the move by Sirianni right before that last play we just showed? They decided to go for it on 4th down rather than kicking a field goal or just punting, potentially giving the Packers better field position. Unfortunately for them, they weren't able to get it done and ended up with a Mason Crosby missed field goal to lose them this game, falling to the Eagles 10-7.
More big news out of the NFL so far, too. Brian Daboll, the Giants head coach, after 4 seasons, has been fired. He started off having a tremendous 9-7-1 season, a season where he became Coach of the Year, as well as leading the Giants to the playoffs and getting their first playoff victory in over 10 years, Noah.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate turn of events for the Giants. I know when they first got him, especially with that first season, electric with Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, a lot of Giants fans were really high on this guy and weren't called. It was the first Giants coach in a while that really didn't have a lot of pressure. That first season was so great, but I mean, when you're losing games, when you have a 10-point lead and you're losing them in the fourth quarter, that game against the Broncos, just this past weekend against the Bears, I mean, there's no excuses for it when it comes to being a head coach in the NFL. I mean, that's an absolute blunder by him, and I mean, the Giants just don't feel like they could continue with him. What is your thoughts on it as resident Giants fan here at this desk?
As a Giants fan, I'm just excited for the future. Just get everybody healthy, make a couple of good offseason coaching and maybe player moves too, depending on what the cash flow looks like for the Giants, and let's just get ready to roll, maybe win a couple of games for some fun too, and get ready for the draft in April.
Anyone in particular you're eyeing for that new coaching spot for you guys?
Well, my man at Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman, hopefully. Maybe Steve Spagnuolo, bring him back to New York to try to get another ring with the Giants. Just some wishful thinking. And in the meantime, Mike Kafka, the offensive coordinator for the Giants, will take over as interim head coach.
Yeah, and it's not a bad choice. I mean, that offense, for the weapons that they have, starting a rookie quarterback in Jackson Dart, having multiple injuries to their star franchise wide receiver Malik Neighbors, along with Cam Scattergood, that offense is really not stagnated at all. They've been putting up 30, 20-plus point games every week. It's really been the defense that's been losing them these games, along with a mix of poor decision-making by Brian Daboll, and that ultimately led to his firing.
Well, it's been a tough stretch of things, but now let's move to teams who are on to bright futures right now, and starting with Louisville and Kentucky, a much-anticipated top 15 matchup last night at the KFC Yum Center with Louisville legend Donovan Mitchell in attendance. It was a quick start for Kentucky, but it was all Louisville going into the end of the first half as they built up a double-digit lead. Eventually, it was more than just a 2-possession and double-figure lead. It became a beatdown. However, slowly but surely, Kentucky would try to creep their way back into this ball game, but it was all Louisville.
Yeah, it's a great game on paper. I mean, you have two teams with basketball programs who have produced so many NBA stars, and especially when you have an in-state rivalry like this, I mean, those games are always exciting, but one team seemed to come up to play more than the other today.
Ryan Conwell had 24 for Louisville, part of the starting 5, as well as Mikel Brown Jr.
It was a great game by both teams for the majority of it. But as you can see, Kentucky, they started lagging behind a little bit, and Louisville just got off and running, and there really was no stopping them once they got those baskets flowing.
Louisville had 24 points off the bench. Kentucky had 28, believe it or not. So the bench production was not in question. However, it was the overall play of Kentucky that was put in question, Noah. As they held a certain amount of their own ground, they put up a lot of fight. They got it to a 2-possession game at one point. But Louisville, once again, just takes over and controls, and it was the biggest win in Pat Kelsey's brief but beautiful tenure so far in Louisville.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you can beat a program like Kentucky that has such a storied basketball lineage, I mean, you can't even keep track of how many NBA players are on that team, and I mean, every year they're a shoo-in for the tournament. Whenever you can come up and beat a team like that, especially when you're talking about a team like Louisville, it's not specifically known for their basketball. I mean, they're always competitive, but I mean, not a team that really pops off the page when you're thinking college hoops. That's a great win for a great team, and they're looking good.
You know who else was a Kentucky legend?
Let me hear it.
Karl Anthony Towns, which will take us to the NBA. Knicks and Grizzlies squared off last night. In progress, currently the Knicks are taking on the Orlando Magic. It was a showdown at the Garden, consisted of a very conflicted Memphis Grizzlies team and a team that has been described by Mike Brown as a team that can have the ball humming right now for the New York Knicks. It was a back-and-forth affair, but the Knicks exploded in the second quarter and took over, Noah.
Oh, yeah, and you mentioned one college basketball legend in Karl Anthony Towns, but how about this man, Jalen Brunson from the University of Villanova, giving you 32 points, 5 defensive rebounds, 5 rebounds all total, along with 10 assists. I mean, that is just an insane level of scoring, and to have 10 assists on top of it, I mean, that's just a winning recipe in my eyes.
Brunson shot 67% from downtown last night, only missing 3 of his 3-point attempts, and overall 58% from the field.
Yeah, and going on the other side of the ball, you want to talk about a player who's been going through some struggles as of late. We'll talk about Ja Morant. Finished this game with just 16 points, 3 rebounds, 10 assists as well for him. He's good at distributing that ball, but only a measly 4 for 14 from the field.
The lights were a little too big for Ja, but currently right now, this Memphis team, they're young, they're going through a little bit of an awkward phase, not a rebuild, but not exactly a rebuild, and they're just trying to manage the rough waters with, on top of injuries, with Scottie Pippen Jr. still out for them.
Yeah, they're in a weird spot right now. They're kind of, it seems like they're trying to do the 2 timeline thing. We've seen teams do it before when you have a really great players who maybe aren't super young anymore. We saw the Warriors do it when they drafted James Wiseman, Jonathan Kuminga, to try to match them up. You try to do the 2 timelines. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Right now, things are looking rough for Memphis, especially with the recent drama coming out about Ja Morant, his dislike for Thomas Lowe, and the way that the system is running. And he just looks completely unmotivated, and it just doesn't look like he has that same joy we're used to seeing from a player like Ja Morant.
1 out of 2 more teams in injury turmoil, too. The Celtics and the Sixers squared off a part of NBC's first game of their Coast to Coast Tuesday. Jaylen Brown, Kelly Oubre. The names in this matchup are star-studded.
Don't forget that man, Tyrese Maxey. He has been a flamethrower all season for this team. Who needs Joel Embiid and Paul George when you have a guy like Tyrese Maxey who can come out on any given night and give you, I mean, he's a walking 40 points any given night.
VJ Edgecombe, too, really starting to come into his own game. He's starting to be a bright, bright star for the Philadelphia 76ers team, Noah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this Boston team is as well as in a weird spot. You can tell they're not clicking the way they used to on the court. Obviously, with the lack of Jason Tatum, who's out for the season with that Achilles injury, along with key losses, they've really been struggling to find their groove this season. I mean, this Sixers team, although they're injured, they're making it work with these young guys. McCain, Maxey, like you said, VJ Edgecombe, who has just been lightning in a bottle so far for this Sixers team. Obviously, he hopes to continue doing that, but they're getting some great wins against good competition. They're not just beating up on the bottom feeders of the league. They're getting great wins against quality teams.
Well, it was a game-winning putback for Kelly Oubre, a huge late bucket that sealed the deal, and then an attempt to tie the game on an alley-oop, the Celtics failed.
Yeah, and I mean, talk about game-winning dunks. There's been a couple of those in the last couple of days. We had Andrew Wiggins the other night against Miami Heat doing a similar thing. Kelly Oubre doing his best Andrew Wiggins impression in this game.
Right on, as the 76ers would pull away 102-100 in a very exciting win. Noah, real quick, actually both of you guys, what are your predictions tonight for the Siena-St. Bonaventure game?
I mean, I'm going to have to roll with our guys. We're going to have to roll with the Siena Saints like always against St. Bonaventure. I don't care who they're playing, give me them.
Bradley, how about you?
Obviously the Saints.
Well, that makes a clean sweep for all 3 of us with the Saints tonight. And that'll do us for sports here tonight.
And that will do it for SCTV Live at 7. Follow us on Instagram at Siena Communications TV, or you can visit us here on the Siena University Communications YouTube page. Have a great night.